Hey, Jeff here, your YouTube reviewer of New England brews. Welcome back from South Portland, Maine, the Sea Dog Brewery. Today I'm reviewing the Sea Dog India Pale Ale, otherwise known as the Sea Dog Old East IPA. This is out of Portland, Maine. The date on the side, there's an expiration date clipped into the label. It says April of 2012. The ABV on this is 6.2% ABV. The Sea Dog is really well known for some of their beers that have blueberry, raspberry, some of the fruit flavors in their beers. Although they also brew, about a dozen or so other brews that you can buy in bottles around New England. And Sea Dog is quite available here in New Hampshire where I live. And but today I'm going to do their India Pale Ale. In this one they use an English yeast that's a top fermenting yeast. And they use, 3 malts, including a chocolate malt to produce this one. And they use 2 hops in the process as well. So, without further ado, I'm going to, first of all, I always like to show you the little paw print. There's the Sea Dog paw print. And if you listen carefully in the background of today's review, you might actually hear a dog barking. So, very appropriate for today's review. It just happened to work out that way. I think the dog wants to go inside and its owners have not brought him inside yet. So, let's give it a pour into this little Bellhaven glass. It's only an 8-ounce glass, I believe. So I won't get the whole bottle in here. That's okay. I think to taste beer, you really don't need the entire thing. You just need to get a feel for it here. So, right off the bat, getting a nice amber color with some fairly decent carbonation. It's fairly good clarity. A lot of IPAs tend to be on the foggy and cloudy or murky side a little bit, but this one's got pretty good clarity, I think. Golden yellow, I would say, and a mediocre, a small little head. Anyway, check out the aroma. Well, for an IPA, you're getting hops, but those 3 malts are really kicking in, the 3 malts I talked about before, because I'm getting a strong malt character up front, as well as a moderate yeast character. And I do notice those aromas right away. The hops for an IPA, frequently you get a good hoppy character, but here it's much more subtle. But that makes sense because really if they're trying to do an original style IPA in the English tradition dating back hundreds of years, the intent behind that was essentially to put more hops in the beer so it would remain relatively fresh for that long trip overseas, across the world to India. And so you wouldn't really necessarily want a super hoppy beer because the brewers in the old days would have wanted to allow the people in the eastern part of the world to taste the beer the way it was meant to be tasted, and get the flavors and the characteristics that the people back home in England would get. So that's why I'm not surprised there's a huge hoppy character here. There's not a huge hoppy character on this one. So enough talking. I'd like to taste this and see what it tastes like. Wow. It definitely has a nice, again, malty character on the taste. Before I get into that, the body is medium and smooth, creamy and smooth. But what I like about this is it's got a decent malty character. You're getting a nice note of the yeast in there to balance it off, and the hops are bringing up the rear in a slightly off-dry fashion. So it doesn't leave a lingering sensation. It leaves a bit of one, but not a huge one. So I wouldn't call the hops really dry, but there's definitely a hop character at the end. So malts up front with a little yeast thrown in, and you get that hop character to balance it off at the end. A really well balanced beer, I think. I'm not sure if I would put it up as high as some IPAs I've had. I mean, it's an excellent IPA for what it is. But there are IPAs that get much higher ratings, get much better reviews, and you know, and have a, you know, a go-to character that people really want to have that one all the time. This one though is a really kind of nice, subtle IPA. And I like it. I mean, it's very refreshing. It's available year-round, so that makes it special. And Sea Dog, as I said, is fairly available in a good part of New England, particularly where I live. So, you know, it's an available year-round beer, and I can see myself drinking this one more regularly, because I don't think I've actually had this one before. I've had some of the Sea Dog fruit-flavored ones that I talked about in the beginning, like the raspberry one, the blueberry one, but I don't think I've had their IPA, and this is the first time, and I'm actually fairly impressed. It's a nice, subtle beer. It's not overpowering in the hop character. It's just enough hops to make you happy, with a good balanced malt character up front, sort of a breadiness in here, and a smooth, creamy mouthfeel. So, I like this one a lot. I'm gonna give it a fairly decent rating, I think. So that's it for today. This is Sea Dog India Pale Ale from Maine. Thanks for stopping by. I'll catch you again next time.